mic check, 1 2 1 2, and we back, ladies and gentlemen. You are now tuned in. Welcome to the world of the verbalist one. This is the Verbal Underground, and as always, I got the co-host Margin with me. Say what's up to the people.
It's your boy BQ Margin. Y'all already know. Welcome to the Verbal Underground, powered by Verbal Marketing. You know, heard? Let's get it.
Let's get it. And coming to the stage, first time visitor, but long time family. I got my girl Wendy, going by the brand Decoded by Wind Agency. Wendy, say what's up to the people.
Hi, thank you so much for inviting me, guys. I'm really, really grateful to be a part of the Verbal Underground. This is where it's happening, where we're talking about what's happening in hip hop. It's relevant, it's credible, and it is necessary.
Thank you. And
Feel it.
y'all heard it. You know what I'm saying? And speaking of what's going on today, if you haven't heard, if you've been living under a rock, if you've been working 20 hours a day and we're the only entertainment that you get to get before you start the new week, we're talking about Young Thug. And today's headline is the battle for Atlanta's rap soul. But before we get into the shenanigans, we want to invite our esteemed guest an opportunity to discuss her beautiful work. She is a literary author, like a metaphysical genius, a hip hop historian, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And she wrote a beautiful piece via her Substack, and it's entitled
Great.
The Price of the Persona, Young Thug, and the Industry That Built Itself.
Yeah,
And you should be able to
it's
see it on the
crazy.
screen. You should be
Let's
able to
go.
see it on the screen, but just by chance, you're listening in audio or you want to catch up on some reading later, Wendy, please tell them where they can find your article and all of your
Yes,
scholarly work.
sure. So, again, I'm a hip hop historian, educator, and first time author now of my first book, which is coming out called Echoes from Sedgwick Avenue. I was born and raised at 1520 Sedgwick Avenue during the 70s. I am very grateful to have had that experience in my life. But as I as I have turned to be an elder now, I realized that this was not something that I decided to do. It was something that was appointed for me to do. So as I, journeyed my way, working for Viacom, Sony Music, I was a casting director. I casted probably about 50 music videos during the late 90s through 2012. And I really got to learn and understand this music industry in a way that a lot of other people don't have the opportunity to see it. So, seeing hip hop from its inception and seeing how it kind of, I won't use the word evolve because some people would say it devolved because
No.
it became extremely damaging to the people that created it on multiple aspects. It kind of dumbed our community down and turned it into a weapon formed against the people that created it. And what really, really made me understand that is when I traveled to the Congo in 2018, and I was sent by the United Nations to work with rescued child soldiers in the Congo. And during that time, we used music as a platform to engage with the students and to get them to communicate with us about what was going on in their lives. But we used hip hop as a way to find a commonality where all of us could, find interest in talking about it. So hip hop is a big thing because it is a connector, and it's not only a generational connector, it's a cultural connector. So people literally feel um connected to it, to the point where everybody has an opportunity to want to say what they feel is important to them. So
And we
that
go to prison for the rest of
is
our life.
that is where I decided that
My apologies.
I needed to do something about this.
And that's
So,
beautiful, Wendy, and we appreciate you like more than you can, ever imagine. Because one thing we love to speak about up here is history of the Verbal Underground, and I believe we also had this conversation, amongst ourselves privately, Wendy, in regards to like trying to explain, to the youth that hey, if you don't know where you're coming from, it's going to be very difficult to find out where you're going, and
mhm,
to have a hip hop historian such as yourself within the building to
mhm.
educate us, especially on like sad behavior. That's probably the best way I can categorize it at this point. Sad behavior coming from Young Thug and the likes of Gunner and the YSL fiasco that's been taking place since that Rico trial last year.
Mhm.
We definitely need a voice like yours to keep us grounded in the essence of like where this all began because you was there, and
Mhm.
like how we can build a bridge to build back better. And we have your
Oh
article
my
currently
God.
up.
Did you really say Bill Bixby? You sound like Joe
Yeah,
Biden's people.
Oh man, hey, hey.
we just got lyrical.
You
We
know
just
what?
got we just got
I'll
comedy
I'll take.
bars.
I'll
Yeah,
hold my
that
L
was
on that,
ingrained
but
in your
I'm saying
subconscious
no correlation.
mind.
You're right. We
No
just need
That
comedy
was
correlation.
bars. And so that's crazy. She said that.
that's
Uh,
She
funny.
oh,
got,
but really,
she got bars herself.
before we forget, Wendy, because I don't want the people to forget. Where can we find your work?
Oh, yes. So I am currently publishing my work on Substack, and it's on Decoded by Win Agency, Agency. And I welcome, it's a free, and I welcome people to please join me in this conversation. We need keepers in hip hop. We need people that are going to be responsible and that are going to speak up, because we don't have people speaking on our behalf. A lot of the well, we do have some, but for the most part, a lot of these, um, you know, s- uh, a lot of the people that are speaking out about hip hop, their voices are drowned out. They're not given the
Hmm.
platforms. They're not put in the forefront. They're not being heard on a mass level. We need to start creating our own avenues where we can begin to seek information when we need it. We need to have platforms where if somebody has a question, listen, I am, a new artist and I'm just joining, I'm about to sign this label. Is there somebody that I could, we want to be the connector to connect them with people that's going to help guide them and don't have
Right.
ulterior motives. We need to start being responsible with our creativity. This is our creativity, and nobody on the planet has the creative gifts like Black Americans. We are the culture creators of the world, and we really need to find a way to start reclaiming our gifts, um, and start whatever we're putting out to the world. We need to make sure that we're filtering that. And when, with all due respect, I don't know Young Thug personally, but I've done enough research on him to kind of understand that the circumstances surrounding him and why he was catapulted from the projects into a $3 million home. This is a typical
Mm.
experience of an artist, and they're created, okay? They're created um, to to portray to their audience that talent got them there, and that is not usually the case. Talent doesn't usually get you there. um not
Totally
not
agree
in
with
a
you there.
not in a 5, 6, 7 year, not that fast.
Well, while we in the
So
vein of talent, let's stay there real quick. Let's talk
okay.
about your talent, right?
Hmm.
I got the first paragraph up out of your
Yeah.
latest work. that's
Yes.
titled "The Price of the Persona: A Young Thug and the Industry
Hmm.
That Built Itself." Would you
Hmm.
like the honors, or would you like for me to
Sure.
read the first paragraph so we can get the listeners an idea
Sure.
of your work?
Sure. I'll read it. So, hip hop was born from resilience in the burnt out boroughs of the 1970s Bronx. A culture emerged from community block parties built on four pillars: the innovation of the DJ, the physical storytelling of the breakdancer, the visual protest of graffiti, and the poetic crowd hyping of the MC. This was a holistic, authentic expression of identity and communal strength. Today, that foundational culture has been largely supplanted by a corporatized distortion, a system that identifies trauma, packages it as authenticity, and profits from the destructive cycles it glorifies. The story of young thug Jeffrey Lamar Williams and his label YSL, Young Stoner Life Records, is a tragic case study in this machinery of exploitation, a cycle that culminates in a devastating legal and cultural paradox. The industry consumes the raw material of human struggle, and when the real world consequences arrive, it abandons the individual, leaving them to navigate a system that simultaneously believes their art and dismisses it as fiction.
That's beautiful. Now, Marjorie.
Yeah.
Now, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how much reading you're able to get done through the day, but if you had to go grab something off the shelf, or if you had to log in real quick and get some knowledge, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I might want to start here. What say you?
Hey, that that'll catch you right off rip. Like, yo, what did this just say? I would read the first paragraph about 3 times before moving on, which I did in real time, in real life. So yeah, it definitely is one of those engaging introductions to something that you want to go deeper into and really see where it came from.
Straight like that.
Yeah.
And Wendy, is it okay if we just read the second paragraph just to keep the ball rolling? Because
Sure.
like, I mean, listen, you don't wet my beak. I like, you can't leave me hanging right there. So, if
Of
you don't mind.
course. So, to understand this, we must examine the raw material the industry identified. Young Thug's upbringing in the Jonesboro South projects of Atlanta was defined by the systemic hardships the music industry often mines from marketable credibility, persuasive poverty, instability, and exposure to street life. This background of trauma isn't a sidebar, it is the foundational element. The machinery of labels like 300 Entertainment and its corporate distributor, Warner Music Group, is not in the business of social work. It is in the business of identifying and marketing archetypes. A young man from Atlanta with a unique style and in a life story that fits a best selling narrative of rebellion is seen not as a person to rehabilitate, but as a moldable image. His dysfunction, the result of a failed social system, became his primary marketable asset. The industry took his lived experiences and channeled them into anthems, glorifying the very cycles that create that struggle. The need for security was twisted into glorifying hyper consumerism. The
Mm,
reality of violence was stripped of its tragedy and sold as a glamorous lifestyle. Complex humanity was flattened into objectification. The young stoner life persona is carefully curated caricature of rebellion built upon a foundation of real pain. The corporate partners
wow.
profited from every stream and sale, incentivizing a feedback loop where more extreme content generated more revenue, all while remaining insulated from the world they portrayed. It's very
Wow. Now
important.
let's take a second right there. Because you said a lot. But you know what I'm saying? We're gonna walk this down slowly. Now,
Hmm.
just from your mouth to our ears, because what I appreciate about your work is you bring a lot of the elements that get away from the low hanging fruit when you
Hmm.
speak in regards to 300 Entertainment and its corporate distributor Warner Music Group. We're talking big business all of a sudden, right? And
Yes.
we're talking marketing archetypes. Another thing that, like, surface level, if you're not aware of what's going on, you might fall for the sleight of hand, correct? And
Right.
when we talk about dysfunction in regards to the behavior and the lyrics and the destruction amongst melanated communities, that also ties into the hyper consumerism, which is another
Yeah.
layer, that like has pretty much left us blindsided by what's ultimately the goal, or what used to be the goal of hip hop. And you can speak more into it, like, don't let me take too much air out of
Mm-mm.
everything. But when the birth, at least from my understanding, the purpose of hip hop was to pretty much, get our families out of, dire situations, or
But
accumulate
hip hop
finances,
didn't
or tell the
start.
story of our culture, per
So
se, things of that nature.
yeah, but hip hop didn't start like that. Hip hop didn't
Okay.
hip hop didn't begin knowing where it was going. This was
Right.
an authentic art form created by underprivileged youth that had nothing but creativity. Do you understand how the when Herc and my brother and Terrence Dean would bring the equipment down to the park? They would literally be electricians. They would get the electricity from lampposts to power the speakers and the turntables, right?
Right.
We would have an artist that would draw up something, and by the end of like in 4 hours, it was a group of people walking from every part of Manhattan, from parts of the Bronx, from parts of Brooklyn. They were all
Hmm.
coming in because the word was passed on, like it was like a griot that passed information on to other parts of the community. And it was not with the intention of being famous. This what had nothing to do with fame. This only had to do with community and everybody doing something that was fun. And it was a way for everybody to get together and to demonstrate their creative talents. Like the B-boys, that was one thing. They would go down to Featherbed Lane, which was up further up from Sedgwick and Undercliff. They would go and gather pizza boxes from, and they would go to Crazy Eddie's and get boxes from Crazy Eddie's, and they would spin on those boxes when they were doing their breakdancing. You would have the MC that would be extremely witty, and they would snap on one another, and that was the word back then, like snapping, which is making jokes on one another.
Yeah.
And they would do that in such a storytelling griot format where they would really tell literal stories, and everyone was mindful that there was always an elder there, so they were not cursing and they were not using
Hmm.
foul language, because Miss Jenkins might be sitting on the bench, or Miss Lipscomb might be sitting on the other bench, or some other elder might, Miss Dean might be in the park. So everybody was mindful of their language and everybody watched out for everybody. So the intention was never about becoming famous when hip hop began.
Understood. Now, with that in mind, like, what? Okay, can you, at least to the best of your ability, can you give me an idea of, like, when did you see the labels started to, like, taking forefront in regards to the business aspect of hip hop culture? And, like, as maybe a follow up question, because we got to the likes of 300 Entertainment as of today. So, like, when I think of labels, I think of like LL Cool J and Def Jam. But you, from a more historical aspect, what was your first concepts of like record labels, and do you think they were like a plus or maybe a negative as far as the culture?
So it's really interesting because Hip hop really began to surface by the late 1970s, where it really did begin to be popular. Um, but keeping that in mind, let's talk about, and the reason why I say this is because hip hop, the first press record that we know of was Sylvia Robinson and the Sugar Hill Gang, right? You
Yes.
know that song, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So that is really when, you know, 19 that's literally when hip hop began to become globally recognized for the most part. So that's way before LL came out. That was probably like in the late early 80s, I would like to say, when the Sugar Hill began. And when that happened and it began to get global recognition, that's when the corporate entities realized its marketability and began to
Mm.
understand its value with advertising and marketing. So it was at that point in time that the you began to see Def Jam and Run DMC. They were one of the first to really globalize hip hop for the first time. You're aware of that.
Yes.
And then
Well,
mm,
no, go ahead, please. You're saying
and
Suge
shortly
Knight?
thereafter, you began to see when they implanted like a group, Def Jam brought in the Beastie Boys, which was an all white group. Do you remember?
Yes. Yes. You got to fight for your right to party.
Yes. Oh, I choked on water.
I probably got
So,
about maybe 3 or 4 tracks from the Beastie Boy in the playlist somewhere back there.
well, the Beastie Boys really gave white people the okay to like hip hop for the most part. That
Yeah.
was their, that was like, everybody thought it was Eminem, but I personally thought it was more so the Beastie Boys. And then it was the other one, um, the other guy, what was his name?
I think
Vanilla
guys like
Ice?
yeah, Vanilla Ice, and I even think of guys like Marky Mark before he became the
Yes.
megastar actor.
Hmm.
What was that? Good vibrations, good
Yeah.
sensations, something like
Yeah, but
that.
that was probably very, that was, I think that was early 90s, if I'm not
Hmm.
mistaken, right?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Um,
So we're still in the early 80s. And during the early 80s, we were dealing with crack cocaine
that's
because
right.
that was a huge, huge part of the downfall to hip hop. Because
Mm.
that is when we began to get to have artists speaking of their enterprises in drugs. So first you had White Lines, White
Yep.
Lines.
Hmm.
So that was probably one of the earlier tracks because we still had, and like I think it was around 1982 we had Grandmaster Flash with the message. So
Yep.
let's just look at the message from Grandmaster Flash, which was really, it was a more of a revolutionary cry to tell people that his community is struggling. Burnt all my clothes, I'm in the welfare hold, I can't get a job, there's none to be found. Those were his cries during that time in history. And that was, that's my, in my personal opinion, when hip hop really began to decline. And then we started to hear chatter and words of the consumerism. And we began to hear songs with a lot of misogyny and ushering, the devaluation of women. And we started to see the women, like dancing naked. And that is really when we began to see these themes introduced into hip hop that really began to create a culture that was very unhealthy for us.
So, do you see a correlation between the crack era and the phase of hip hop where we kind of got into the money talk or
Right.
the
Yeah.
bragging of the cars and
Yeah.
because I'm thinking of guys like
Yeah.
Alpo
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Rayful Edmonds out in
Mm-hmm.
DC,
Mm-hmm.
the players. But
Mm-hmm.
do you agree with me in that correlation? Like that's when I guess our greed kind of took over. We lost a little bit of our soul from hip hop.
Well, I just definitely want you to keep in mind that the A&R really encouraged the narratives in hip hop. They were the ones that, you know, they really encouraged the glorification of violence and materialism instead of using the medium to educate, even though you know, we had we still had like Professor Griff and we had Queen Latifah. We
Queen
had
Latifah. Yeah.
we had the groups that were trying to still say, you know, the right things, but those people were not receiving the recognition or getting airplay like the ones that were promoting the negative themes that contributed to the cultural decline of our art form. So anybody that was talking about black empowerment
Hmm.
was pretty much associated with the Black Panthers in the eyes of the people that were controlling stuff. Because if you know anything about COINTELPRO, that was their modus operandi with dismantling any of those strong black empowerment messages. They did not want people to be empowered, and the crack cocaine literally was one way that our communities were destroyed. But it was almost giving young people a subliminal message to say, would you rather risk going to prison or being a drug dealer and making it the way 50 Cent did?
Mm. Yeah, you're right about that. And you know what? I'm in full agreement with you in regards to the A&R. And the funny thing about it, like the A&R doesn't even exist today. But one thing I wanted to ask you in follow up to the A&R, I personally put a little bit of onus on the DJ. What say you?
Oh yeah. So record executives, radio programmers, and even the artists, they've all become willing participants in perpetuating these harmful stereotypes. They prioritize profit over the people. And this was not something that they had the right to do because it was not their art form. The solution didn't lie in rejecting hip hop, but in the alternative distribution networks, they bypass all of the people, all of the black um all what was the name of that group? There was a group, a black group. They were from Mississippi, I want to say. Um
Hip hop group?
like yeah, I guess they were considered hip hop. Take me to another place. Take me to
Yeah,
another
yeah, yeah.
place.
Was that no, that wasn't Diggable Planets. That was Cool like that.
No, but Diggable Planets is another
Um,
one. They were,
oh man, it's
but you
gonna
know who
come
I'm
to me. Give
talking
me a
about.
second. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm. And so those are the artists that were being silenced. And then we also
Tennis,
had
Arrested Development.
yes, yes, yes. But
Yeah, that
those were
was a
the
fire
artists
song.
that
I'm
were
sorry.
not being, huh?
That was a fire song to me. You took me back to my childhood. Like I love that song for
Hmm.
some reason. Like I'm sorry. I just got sidetracked. I hopped in the time machine for a second. When you don't mind me.
Don't don't worry, hon. I don't mind at all. But ultimately, the fate of hip hop, it mirrored the broader
Yeah.
struggle of Black liberation. It was a constant
Mm,
tug of war between co-option and autonomy. And the same technology used to mass market degeneracy, it was also being harnessed to spread emancipatory ideas, meaning that the same energy that they put into putting out harmful information, they could have used that same energy to allow positive information to flow as well. But those same platforms that promoted drill rap and all this negative stuff, they amplify it to the point that it's on constant rotation, and it's constant, and let's also keep in mind we're not dealing with music. And that's something that I
mm.
missed that I probably should have said first. So if you don't mind me going back a little bit, a lot of
This
the
is your
early
show, Wendy.
hip
Let's go.
hop relied on instrumental music. A lot of the music was instrumental music that
Yes,
was like real music that was being played by musicians. It didn't rely on, the
yes.
computer generated 808 drums, all that stuff. That when that came, that really killed hip hop for the most part,
Yeah, and you
because
know
it
what? Like,
really took. Hmm?
yeah, not to cut your wisdom, because you mentioned the thrill music scene too, and like me being a Chicago native, I remember watching, Chief Keef just pop out of a pan overnight, like because we had artists that, at least as far as the forefront of the music industry in Chicago, like Common Sense and Twister and Do or Die,
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
even more so the latter two than Common, but our kind of
Hmm.
niche in Chicago was more like pimpology rap, if I
Oh,
can,
yes.
do that.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
we was slick talking, fast talking, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Hmm.
We was all about our dress codes, and we was all about, because
Hmm.
Chicago, we have organizations more so than gang culture. And we had
Right.
hierarchy structures in regards to chiefs and literature, and
Hmm.
like chain of commands, and like
Hmm.
man, we had rules. And then I remember when the Chief Keef video popped up, and we see a whole bunch of 14, 15, 16 year olds with dreadlocks and AK-47s in their grandma's living room. It was like, what is this? And
Hmm.
from there, it just spiraled out of control. And after a little due diligence and research, down the road, it took for me to understand that it was these labels,
Hmm.
these music groups that you referenced
Yeah.
in your art, in your literary work as well, that was the
Hmm.
culprit. But it
Hmm.
was the young boys in the city that was going to jail, that was getting killed, that was starting these blood beefs that's
Hmm.
still going on decades down the road, and they're
Hmm.
paying the repercussions for the greed like behavior of some executives sitting in
Hmm.
the high rises. And it's a shame. So yeah, Wendy, like it's scary. um Go ahead,
Well,
please.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Marjorie.
No, I was
Oh, there it goes. My mic was still muted. I was in here chitter chatting away.
oh yeah, yeah, you all good, welcome back.
Oh yeah, I'm back in the mix. VQ margin, pardon the absence. So I'm just chiming in. But with the music groups, I know in Philly here, we have a whole bunch of our historical music like Boys the Men and the R&B side
Yeah.
of
Hmm.
things and that.
Yeah, of
But then
course.
and then we heavily on that part. But then it also has a contrast to it where we dig into the, I guess say the contrast of, we got the Beanie Siegels and we got that era of state property in itself. The title in itself explains where their mindset of that when they're displaying what they're
Hmm.
displaying to state property. What
That's
else
right.
is state property?
Yeah.
So,
Right.
so yeah, Wendy, I'm definitely fully seeing that contrast here in Philly as well.
Yeah,
Amongst
for sure.
And you know
Well,
what, like going in. Oh no, go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Wendy.
No, you go ahead. It's fine.
No, I'm about to say, going into the next paragraph within your work, you speak about, like, Martha just mentioned state property, but let's talk about the domino effect, right? In the next paragraph of your article, it reads the ultimate devastating conclusion of this pact now stands as a warning. In July 2024, Jeffrey Lamar Williams pleaded guilty to one count of violating Georgia's Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act. Can you do you care to speak about the RICO Act, either one of you guys, and how we went from our genesis to our current destination of, hey, our lyrics are now being used against us as a weapon. Go figure.
It's fully. I guess you could say you've seen it coming in a way because we know even the quote art imitating life,
Hmm.
right? It's the imitation of life. So there's a false reality there that's being displayed, but folks are taking this true. And in some of those matters, it just happens to be true, and they're trying to deliver it in an art form, right? So it doesn't matter. The confusion there sets the tone for it. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. If you're saying it, you're affiliated with it, and you fall under the RICO. That's how I'm comprehending the whole thing. I mean, maybe there's a different twist to it. Maybe it's some other, you know, perceptions or personas that's like straightforward into it. But that's how I see that
Mm. It's really interesting because the key elements of a RICO case, it has to have the existence of a legal or illegal organization, which must be a distinct entity, such as a corporation, a mob, or even a
one.
gang,
See?
right?
Well,
So
Right.
that is really what the key element of a RICO should involve as far as an enterprise goes. So Young Thug is not any of those, if you ask me. He's associated more so with a corporation, and that would be the only indication of this description of an enterprise that he would fit. He would have to fit a corporation, a mob, or a gang, right?
okay.
Correct.
Right. But as his defense went forward, there were no there was nothing brought on. The corporation, the Warner Brothers, and they were not what is his label, they were not implicated in any of the crimes that he was being charged with. So, there are specific illegal acts that constitute racketeering activities, and they could be things like arson, bribery, drug trafficking, extortion, embezzlement,
Hmm.
kidnapping, murder for hire. Those are some of the predicate crimes associated with racketeering activities, right? So, the part that makes this article, and this was my intention, is that they relied on his behavior as a defense. The persona, I'm sorry, the persona that he portrays to the public and how he looks to everybody, his
Hmm.
defense used that as an act to say, no, that's not who he is. That was an act. That was
So
what
that
his corporate masters made the decision how they were able to get him off of this. And let's be mindful because most people say he got off, but that 15-year probation is a trap because they're going to get him on something else.
something else. Yeah.
I
And then they're
believe
going to make a big circus out of that too.
I could be wrong, but I believe it actually, when it was all said and done, it turned out to 40 years of probation. And I'm
40.
like,
No.
yeah, I'm
No,
like,
I
Whoa.
believe he
I don't
got
want
no.
to see.
So the 40 years is what he was facing.
No,
He
no, no,
was
you're right. You're
Oh,
facing
right.
40 years in prison.
okay.
And that in itself is a storyline. Young Thug faces up to 40 years in prison, and everybody's like, oh my God, are you seeing this? Well, he did time served and he has 15 years probation. right?
Yeah, he October 2024, he entered a plea deal, and
Mm-hmm.
he reportedly accepted the plea, which was looking at 40 years, but much of it was suspended or commuted, and he
Time
received credit for
served.
time served, and they allowed him to go free,
Correct.
which shocked many
Sounds
people.
good.
I
But
thought
he
this
did
case would
not
be
go
going for
free
years.
though. That's the problem. Everybody thinks he got off, but he did not. He did not. First of all,
They called him a freak because he just went home, basically, instead of not being
Technically,
behind them.
you gotta think about who's really having this conversation. The streets, right?
Yeah,
So
they
according
talk
to the
about
streets, like
freedom.
if he's home with his lady, in the comfort of his kids, he's by default free. But we know better than that because like his shackles are just invisible.
Yeah,
mm,
yeah.
we've seen this enough times now. Like literally, we just finished seeing Diddy go through the same exact thing, right?
Hmm.
We need to stop playing along with this because the more we talk about it on the level of use making him the victim, I mean, making him like he's being victimized. No, this is a systemic thing that's continuous, and it's been going on. It happened to Tupac. It happened it's happened like
Jigga,
so many
Kelly's not
times.
guilty. Jigga.
Yes,
I
yes,
remember that song. Um, but but okay. Well, let's do it like this. Oh, Wendy, you mentioned Diddy.
yes.
Like, let them know about your work as well about Diddy.
That was just a show. So that whole Diddy thing was literally
Wish I
saying,
could high five
"Nigger,
you right
stay
now.
in your place." That was what that was. Nigger, stay in your place. That was what that trial was really all about because they knew what Diddy was doing all along and they were a part of it.
Yeah.
And once he made the decision that he was going to say that they were, that the liquor company was, treating him in a racial manner, that was their way of putting him in his place. And that
Could you
is
say
why he was scolded for it.
so? Are you saying basically, for my comprehension, are you saying there's a bigger the machine is here, but there's a larger factor to it where it even crossover into the, let's say, the legal side of things and not just music industry?
This is such a complicated web that most people don't even
Right.
understand, like how serious it is. Like, this is so serious and so the infiltration is on another level. Um,
Is it
we even
infiltration or
have
simply
people
because of
and I'm not that person that's going to go around and say it's only white people because it's not,
facts?
because
It's not.
there are
There's a
black people
little
that
bit of
sell
everybody.
their own people out.
It's a little bit of everybody in that mix. That's for
Yeah,
sure. So
yeah.
Yeah,
They still don't want to have the conversation on who sold them in slavery, but that's for another episode.
yeah, that's
That's for another
another
episode.
episode. Saying
But yeah,
mm,
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to throw that in. That's a derailment. My apologies. But Wendy, one last time, can you please tell the people where to find your literary work? So, as the content continues to come out, because we're going to definitely make sure this is a continuous conversation, not only in regards to the Young Thug case, but in just hip hop storytelling in particular. Where can they find your work?
yes. So again, my Substack is where I'm doing a lot of my writing, but I'm in the process of launching. Well, my book will be coming out, which is Echoes from Sedgwick Avenue, which you
That's
will
right.
find more announcements on. You could also find me on Instagram, where I am Decoded by Win Agency. That's Decoded by Win Agency. I'm just starting to be a part of the social media platforms. I was just never really wanted to be a part of it. I was just very anti social media. I literally just spent a lot of time just, doing a lot of my research, and I was very happy with that. But I just felt that it was necessary for me to start bringing it to the public and start engaging people in conversation because it is our art form. You could also expect to see my YouTube channel. Well, I'm not sure if I'm going to be on YouTube or if I'm going to go straight to Rumble, which I probably will because I'm not a fan of being of my language being censored. So I will more than likely opt to be on a platform that will allow me to speak freely, where I don't have to worry about what I'm saying in an effort to stop me from telling my own truth.
Yeah,
So I
that ain't.
really look forward and hope that others will join me on this mission. I'm an open person. I will return your emails if there's anything I could do to collaborate with you. I'm open to everything. I feel it's my mission to be a voice of hip hop.
That's right. Y'all heard it, man. That's it's her mission. She ain't new to this. She
Listen,
true to this. So y'all stop playing, man. Y'all make sure y'all get over to the Substack, subscribe, and like she's being modest. Like she's under the verbal market umbrella. So I'll be nudging her behind the scenes, but we gonna make sure she's on every platform somehow, some way. What I'm saying, to spread this hip hop knowledge and what I'm saying, continue to gather support from the people. Be on the lookout for the upcoming book. I'm excited. I already seen the cover. Y'all don't even understand what's coming down the pipeline, but yes, yes, what I'm saying, decoded by Win Agency.
And,
Like,
and there's one other thing that I want to say, if you don't mind, really quickly.
the floor is
So when
yours,
I was a
please.
casting director, I
Yeah, let's
casted
get into that.
probably, I did Jay-Z, I did DMX, I did Rough Rider, Missy
Uh-huh.
Elliott, I worked with Aaliyah, I've done everybody. I've done several Mary J. Blige
Oh
videos.
wow.
Who else did I do? I
They go
did
now. Hold on. Don't make them mad,
Missy
Wendy. You know what
Elliott.
I'm saying?
Huh?
Don't make them mad. You giving it to them now. Like they going they probably thought you just up here just running your mouth. Now you know what I'm saying. You
No.
hitting them upside the head with bricks.
Yeah, I definitely was in the mix. I was very good friends with Chris Lighty. May he rest in peace.
Violator.
I've been up on Hot 97's radio station numerous times. So I was
Nice.
really a part of the industry for a lot of years. And I really know I know this industry in ways that I think that a lot of people don't know. So I'm ready to start telling my stories and telling some of the things that I know about the hip hop industry and some of the secrets that has not really been told. I'm
well,
not into
can I ask you
scandal.
what
I'm
about?
not, huh?
Can I ask you about what are these secrets? Or maybe it's not a secret. Can I ask
Okay,
you that? Uh,
sure.
are we witnessing? Are we, or I say, are we identifying occultists practicing certain,
Absolutely.
know, throughout the
Absolutely.
whole?
But it didn't start just with hip hop. Let's be clear. This is not just
Hmm.
hip hop. So the music has been used, and that's another, and I'm so glad you said that, Margarine, because that is why Decoded by Wendy is like my visuals are gonna start with the Mississippi blues, because then I can give you the foundation of how our music talents were used against us, and it began like at the turn of the century. It was really happening like in the early 1900s, late 1800s. They were literally understanding that we had musical talents, um, that they infiltrated, and it wasn't just hip hop. And if you know anything about jazz, that is a whole
Uh-huh.
nother story. If you
Oh yeah.
know, the like this is a serious conversation, and I really hope that we can have a more, next time I'm going to really strategize so that it's a little bit more organized, what I speak about, because I just really need the young people to understand the foundational part of Black American music. Oh, by the
Yeah,
way, I'm
yeah.
also a founding member of the Black American Music Association with Michael Malden and Demet Guidry out of Atlanta, Georgia. It's called BAMA.
Oh,
I was one of the original founders of that organization with them, and he's Jermaine Dupri's father.
yeah. So like for everybody in the listening audience, like
Hey,
give give the utmost praise and respect to Wendy because this was a last minute invitation I threw out to her, and as you can see, she still came with the fire. And for everybody in the
oh,
metaphysics community, like you definitely want to get in tune with the literary work because when I say she taps in into, you know what I'm saying, the knowledge, it's all there for you guys. So this isn't your cookie cutter double XL or the source, you know, format writing, you know, like we're writing, we she's bringing the knowledge that touch your soul and like, you know, get your mind right and restore the integrity in regards to this beautiful culture that we all love and know called hip
Yes,
hop.
we
So
need to reclaim it. It's called Sankofa. It's an African
mm,
proverb
talk to him.
that means to go back and get what belongs to you.
Kofa.
Come on now. Come
Bars,
on now.
bars.
Come
You know
on
what I'm talking
now.
about?
Yeah, so
Those,
like you know, when he's working on the YouTube page, but you know, like she's always gonna be part of the Verbal Underground family. So you know what I'm saying, until she's up and running over there, I'm gonna do my best to try and get her to come back
Yes.
over here and keep dropping these jewels on you guys. Uh, so with that being said, y'all ready to jump into the Young Thug shenanigans
I
in
thought
regards
we
to
already
the week?
started.
No, I'm talking about in regards to like the happenings of this week. Let's get away from the Rico and the history and let's get into the current events. Y'all ready?
Yeah, let's bring it home. Let's get to the present.
All right, all right. Well, just a little clip for the listening audience. If you don't know, Young Thug name has been taking over pretty much the internet streets. And the conversation has revolved, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately too, depending on what kind of information you're trying to obtain from this scenario. But the conversation has now arrived at what we call snitching. What is snitching? How does it work? What are the codes? What are the rules? You know, like it's messy out here in these streets. But with that being said, Young Thug made an appearance yesterday to try and clear his name because his name has been getting muddied in regards to the snitch and the rat allegation. So I'm gonna play this short clip for you guys, and we're gonna come back and have a conversation about it. Let's get into it.
What they do? We go to prison, nigga, and we fight to get out this bitch. If we beat these folk, what they do? We beat them. We go forward. Nigga, I created you, nigga. Well, God created you, but I help. Once you rat or once you turn gay, and I don't got nothing against gay people. It's gay people that work for me. But when I look at you a certain way, if I look at you, if I meet you and you gay, it's like, okay. If I meet you and you portraying that you a man and you not gay, I don't got nothing against gay people.
Yeah, no,
you know what I'm saying? If you portraying a certain thing,
you deceiving.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't look at you the same. Yeah. I ain't mad at you for being gay. So what? Everybody, whoever gay, they gay. So what, nigga? Mm-hmm. I don't got no problem with gay people. Gay people work for me right now. Yeah. I'm damn near around gay people every day because they work for me. Mm-hmm. I don't got no problem with them. I don't hate that I even brung this shit. I don't want you to take it out, but I hate I even brung it up because I don't even want the LGBT.
They get what you saying.
I don't even want that community to even think that I'm against them. I'm overly with y'all folks. When you got out of jail, you didn't help Slime at all. Savage sent money to Thug. Wham sent money to Thug. Pluto sent money to Thug. Cash sent money to Thug. Drake sent crazy bankroll to Thug. Gunna didn't send no bankroll to Thug. Gunna didn't pull up on Thug mama. Gunna didn't pull up on Thug family.
Where the music at, Slime? You just played me some hard ass shit now. Why that shit ain't that? The fuck is a nigga thinking about?
Cause I just don't got my twin, bro. I don't got my friends, bro. I'm just fucked up. Right? I'm fucked up, bro. The nigga who I be with every day, I don't got him no more, bro. I'm fucked up, bro.
Damn.
I'm fucked up, bro. I don't know what to do, bro. Like, and I ain't lose no nigga to tragic or now. I lost a nigga to betrayal, bro. You signing that one piece of paper, signing your initials on this one piece of paper could get me a life sentence, my nigga. How you, like, what? Come on, bro. I get a life sentence, all this piece of paper you signed, bro. Just cause you trying to get home fast, or you just trying to get to a hole, or you just doing a certain thing, bro. And you already done betrayed a nigga before, bro. Damn. A piece of paper, nigga, you gonna let a piece of paper in all this shit? Nigga, we men, bro. We brothers, nigga. Ain't no nigga in the world making me go get Gunna. No nigga, bro.
Woo, man. You know, like, hey, that's who they call a leader today in hip hop. But you know, I digress. So let me go ahead and put my shameless plug in real quick. Everybody, www.verbal-marketing.com. Visit the website, go all the way to the right, hit that verbalism tab, and you will find the latest article from the Verbal Underground, titled "The Battle for Atlanta's Rap Soul," and that is what we're speaking about today. So far, it's kind of been a talk about hip hop soul in general, with Wendy pretty much, giving us the essence of everything that's going down. But yeah, man, let's get into it real quick, Marjorie, man. So when private words become public headlines, the walls of hip hop shake. Young Thugs leak calls and interrogation footage aren't just gossip. They reignited the snitching debate, fractured Atlanta's rap alliances, and forced the culture to ask, what does loyalty mean in 2025? So my first question to you, is there any loyalty, or is there a such thing as loyalty within hip hop in 2025?
Yeah, that loyalty is the self. It's a selfish thing. It ain't to nothing outside of self, and it's identified that by that via any type of compensation or any, which can be in so many different forms other than monetary. You know what I'm saying? We're dealing with a lot of different energies out here, so that's really what they're looking for, that attention and energy. So yeah, it's there. It's just selfish.
Understood. Now, what about all these leak calls? Like, no matter how your algorithm may be tuned these days, it's no way that you can't get around, whether that's social media, YouTube, articles. You can't get around the leak calls that's been happening this week. So, what say ye, man? Are these deserving of headlines? Like, should this even be part of our conversation for hip hop, or is it just a slow week
Yeah,
and we're waiting for
no,
football and now we here?
no, we watching this. We watching this cycle happen again. Is what we happened. The last time we seen this, if y'all remember, it was your man Tip. You're watching the same thing take place. As Wendy mentioned before, you gotta get back in your place. And how they put them back in their place is by taking out the image that they've created, who has now been more there than who they actually are. See, it's too much attachment there. So that's how we laying the hand down. Let's destroy this imagery, or attempt to destroy this imagery, or even attempt to just start making things disconnect from you. See what I'm saying? We
Yeah, yeah, you do well, Tip, but I don't know. I kind of gotta push back just a little bit. I don't think you know Ti's case was this messy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think, and to his credit, you know what I'm saying? Like, Ti was always sophisticated and very smart in his movement, especially when it came to them court cases. We seen him go in and out of the system on so many accounts. Is damn near laughable how he's out today. But like, you actually find comparison, or you think this is a little bit worse, or maybe it's like on par for the social media
it's the
era that we're in currently.
it's like that. It's the dumbed down version. Like you mentioned, Pip, you know what I'm saying? He got lyrical spirituals for y'all. You know what I'm saying? You can tell. Not saying that my man Thug does not, because he is and he does. So what they're doing now is intentional. This goes against everything, all the codes that you stand up for any other songs that you say, yo, you ain't snitching, you ain't ratting, I ain't telling, I ain't saying nothing. Well, you're saying something. See what I'm saying? So by you saying something, and I know that you in the mix, and we all know that you're in the mix. This is intentional. It's just a dumbed down version of it. So why? Ends can comprehend it. See what I did there?
No, I saw you.
See what I'm saying?
Well, while we speaking about it, let's go ahead and define it. What happened, when, and how we know, right? So late August last month, a 2-year-old interrogation video. Now, like, keep that in the back of your mind, but we're gonna circle back in a minute. A 2-year-old, which means 2023, a 2-year-old interrogation video of Young Thug resurfaced online, appearing to show him naming an associate in the 2015 Lil Wayne tour bus shooting. I don't know if you remember that, but that was a big deal in the headlines. That's back. Wasn't that back when Thug was wearing the dress too? Oh, we'll get to that later. But days later, dozens. Yeah, they forgot. Verbal Underground didn't forget. Pepperidge Farm remembers. You know what I'm saying? Dozens of jail calls, and they're still coming out as of this recording. But we're going to try our best to catch you guys up. Dozens of jail calls from 2022 through 2024, which is pretty much his entire jail stint. Now these calls are flooding social media via blogs. Most of the blogs came via Twitter from 2 accounts. One was at Thugger Daily, and ironically at Gunner Updates. So the 2 key players, quote unquote, within this particular episode, as the hip hop world goes round, the leaks was coming from 2 fan accounts that's associated with the 2 rappers. Now, why were they leaked, right? I had to research this because, like, I'm currently in Georgia and I did not understand, like, hey, what part of the game is this? But under Georgia law, non-privileged jail calls are public records, believe that or not. So the Cobb County Sheriff's Office confirmed, we routinely receive and fulfill open records requests of phone calls and video visitations for Jeffrey Williams. So they got audio and visual, and all you got to do is just call up and say, hey, I request, and under Georgia law, you can have that. The sheriff's office is obligated under Georgia law to comply with these requests. Attorney-client and clergy calls remain exempt. So far, right? Because they're coming out daily like a mad soap opera, right? But as long as none of these leaks produce any information between Young Thug and his lawyer or Young Thug and his pastor, everything is fair game. So now the blogs have like got a hold of this stuff and they're curating clips. And since the law enforcement confirmed the process, the internet is here to do the rest. So let me get your thoughts on, what you've seen happening so far this week.
Yo, listen, man. If I'm listening to your art and you told me how many times you done been in the joint, enough to the point where I know the process via your art, and I ain't never been, right? You mean to tell me that you didn't know that was public record, or you did not know that you was being recorded, audio and visually? See, I don't think that like when we looking at this right here, this is what I'm trying to display. This theater is real fucking good. This
Yeah,
is some good
yeah.
theater.
The
Actors is
world is a
amazing.
stage.
You know what I'm saying? This persona of the young thug, this is one of the climaxes of the young thug's saga. Because maybe after this, he gonna be the thug of the old head or something. But at this point, we're witnessing the how can I put it? See, this is where I go to comparison back to your man Tip because we're witnessing how intelligent some of these individuals are, but they display the foolishness
Okay.
because all these names are very specific names that he's mentioning in here, right? Which is almost, if from my knowledge, most of the top boys and then folks that you be like, why would you say that about them? You know that ain't. It's either true or not true, but you talking about somebody. You know what I'm saying? A gatekeeper in a sense, or two, or three, or maybe four or five. That ain't. You see what I'm saying? You
I'm
throwing
with you.
shade on John. So when I'm looking, I'm hearing that all this is recorded and you saying all these things. I don't take it as you giving me this isn't by accident, it's by design. Because you about to go, you ain't staying behind no bars. See what I'm saying? The persona of Young Thug has been tarnished by the courts. Like, yeah, he committed such and such a crime in a certain manner, so he only getting the probation because of that's not him. Then if that's not
Mm.
him, why the probation? You see what I'm saying?
15 years worth on top of that.
You see, like we was talking to Wendy about it and identifying the persona that he's portraying there. The persona is the one, but they can't really they can't physically arrest the persona.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But they gotta have something there to represent a pawn piece to represent the persona. So what's his name? Jeffrey?
Yeah.
Jeffrey over here. See what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Jeffrey Atkins. No, I'm just playing. But Jeffrey over here. Jeffrey over here is just he's the flesh and blood, the person. He's not the one that committed the John. This is how they displaying
Jeffrey
it.
Lamar Williams.
What is it?
Jeffrey Lamar Williams the second.
Jeffrey Lamar. Look, there you go. Jeffrey. You know what I'm saying? The second, nonetheless. Young Thug is on probation, but Jeffrey gonna be walking around here goody. Like when we witnessing duality here, we witness it in the fullest form. You know what I'm saying? Back in the face too.
Well, you speak about the public persona versus pretty much like the private reality, right? So his
Uh-huh.
curated, public image, that differs, you know, sharply from the guy that we seeing in these leaks, right? Like, these calls, they pretty, candid, like they contradictory, to say the least. Like part of the reason why the episode was named the battle for Atlanta's rap soul, because for the longest, maybe 2 decades strong now, in regards to hip hop within the US, Atlanta pretty much had a stronghold on the industry. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, influenced by
And
outside source as well, but yeah.
well, I mean, if you stack it up, we gotta be fair. Even places like New York and LA, you stack it up, and we talk record sales, we talk about new stars, we talk about businesses created. Like, Atlanta's far and ahead of everybody. Like, even artists like Fat Joe and 50 Cent, and even Jay-Z might tell you, like, hey, the South been running it. Like, they might not be eager to say that, but if we keeping it real and we putting their money where their mouth is, they probably gonna have to ride with that. Like, the South has kind of had like a stronghold, but and we speak on Ti. We look at artists like Ti, Big Boy and 3K, and Killer Mike, 2 Chains. You know what I'm saying? Like just them top names, Future. Just them top names that's over the past 2 decades. Like if they was to release, it's highly likely that they're gonna land in the top 10 somewhere, right? But at least from my point of view, a good reasoning in regards to how they was able to maintain that stronghold is because they had quote unquote loyalty. It was no problem for Atlanta artists to jump on another Atlanta artist record, and because it was so many of them, and like listen, like come on, think of guys like Ludacris. You know what I'm saying? Who didn't enjoy Ludacris, but it was nothing for Ludacris to go hop on, up and coming act. And we ain't even counting the R&B stars that came out of here like The Dream and Usher and like so many more, Sierra, right? Like, like they was able to build uh, a foundation off of helping each other as opposed to some like Chicago. Like in my land, we not doing no collaboration because we all aiming for that number one spot. You see what I'm saying? Like to the
Yeah,
point where we will really take it to the streets in order
yeah.
for that to claim that number one spot. That is different in Atlanta. They meeting up at the strip club for wings and discussing the hook. It's
I
crazy.
mean, yeah. I mean and that's all fine and dandy. But then we also know about the inner turmoil that takes place with all that too. And during that inner turmoil that's when we start hearing some of the reality in that inner turmoil. See what I'm saying? It's like I said, as little as they are, right? The moment it's
Hmm.
something that's not aligned, we hear about it. If we hear about your internal beef, that's not loyalty.
Hmm.
See what I mean? So we can dress it up now. As for music wise, yeah, they got it. They've been having it. Like since Luda, debuted and Ti's and them debuted, they've been had it since then. That's cool. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But we also could say in the past, let's say after we started identifying things as mumble, you see what I'm saying? Things started taking a different toll. You see what I'm saying? Things got real redundant. But even in that meantime, like when I meant by outside source, they was also influenced by the other boy who was getting all the other number one hits. See what I mean?
Hmm.
So there's a connection there on that longevity wasn't just solely, you feel me? Y'all also, what I'm saying, as my man, what he say, came to Atlanta to what he say, fucking colonize it, you know what I'm saying? Came down there and colonized things and shit. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah. Young Kendrick, huh?
yeah, I mean, so certain things is also, I ain't gonna say it's a life vest because they survive on their own. But when we got the young thug is now old thug, and you telling me he gonna give you number one, but the new nigga who out, or maybe it's not gonna be as rated, or whoever supposed to be the next one is not.
Mm.
So does that mean
Old
I
Thug is
mean
funny.
the does that mean the loyalty is over with? Because if so, the niggas ain't passing it on, looking like they holding up a ton.
Well, you know what? I don't know if I'm like ready to lament that it's over with, but I'm definitely gonna go out there and say it's fractured. Definitely fractured. It's gonna
Practice.
have
I
to be
feel
a lot
that.
of
Yeah, yeah,
conversations. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of conversations that take place behind doors, and even that clip I showed, to start this section of the podcast, his last statement in regards to why he didn't put out the music, he's pretty much whining like, "Oh man, my right hand is gone. I ain't got my right hand. I don't know what to do." And like he's speaking about Gunna, but at the same time, if you feel like that, you would think it'd be some kind of bridge there to what I'm saying, get you guys back on the same page. So it's kind of odd. It's like he wants to be with the man doing great music because let's I'll speak for myself. Like Gunna been putting out great music since he's been out. And if anybody can, use a little bit of the glow, it would be your boy.
Yeah.
Call him old thug. They say he 34. Does that qualify him as a old thug? 34.
In the
He,
rap
he, he
world,
ain't
yeah.
unk- yeah, he ain't unk just yet, but you know what I'm saying? Like he ain't necessarily young neither.
Yeah, in the rap world, yeah. In that
Middle
world,
aged
yeah. But in real life, no. In real life,
thug.
no. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But in that world, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because at this point in time, outside of street talk, which you've been far from streets, unless you telling us
Yeah.
different. You know what I'm saying?
Another
You
said,
who
yeah,
even
another Atlanta artist I thought Young Jeezy. Probably
see
ain't
what I'm
his name
saying?
yet.
Yo, he did a whole performance in a suit and a button up joint. Like, yo,
Yeah.
I
That's his new
mean,
rollout. He
that's what
seen he
I'm
seen the Young Thug shit like, nah, I'm putting the suit on,
you
homie.
know what I mean? So it's like,
Corporate thugging. He been
yeah,
telling y'all.
hey, you know what I mean? We're still rapping about keys up there, the old bar. These is old bars, statute of limitations, I guess. However, it's going down. It's just
Yeah.
that's what I mean. It ain't no next. Who the next? Where it's at? Y'all even have motherfucker, what's his name down there? People think he's from down there. Yeah. In my rollie. What's his name? Uzi
I
Vert
don't
and
know what
shit.
that is. Oh,
Uzi
oh,
Vert.
okay. Nah, that's your man's. That's your man's.
Exactly. But
You know what I'm
when
saying?
he came out, when he was
He
over,
did.
when he
He
was
looked like a
started,
transplant. He did.
see what I'm saying? Like it was like,
Yeah.
oh y'all.
Well, you know what? Since
So,
we here speaking on the names, let's go ahead and get into that. Then we'll go one by one before we close this podcast out, and it'd be like 12 new names get mentioned, right? So
yeah,
let's start with Gunna, right? Because Gunna was part of the YSL Rico trial, but you know, he's currently upset with Gunna because in December of 2022 he took what they call an alpha plea, right? And an alpha plea is a guilty plea where the defendant maintains innocence but acknowledges enough evidence exists for conviction, right? So that's like a trick bag within a trick bag, right? You know what I'm saying? The streets,
yeah,
yeah,
you got
y'all
me.
got it. Y'all got
Yeah,
it.
me.
But yeah, that deal, that's a deal where Gunner admitted, you know what I'm saying, the prosecutors had evidence without confessing guilt. So that's why Gunner's running around saying like, the rat shit don't make no sense because he ain't necessarily give up no evidence. But Gunner's court statement also, you know what I'm saying,
Wait, wait, hold on.
yeah,
Let me interject. Wait a minute. All right.
yeah, go ahead.
In order for me to agree that you have enough evidence on whatever's going on this side of the table, I gotta see
Yeah.
it, right?
What you mean? Who is you exactly in this particular
All
scenario? Are
right.
you Gunner or are you
Yeah,
Thug or who are you?
I'm gonna right now for this segment of this conversation. I'm the gunner,
Mhm.
and you telling me you got evidence right there. You got 14 keys in that bag. Oh yeah, let me see. Right?
Right.
I gotta see that. Right? In order for me to be like, all right, yeah, you got me. Yeah, I mean, to agree to what's this called? What'd you say this?
The Alfred plea.
The Alfred plea. Yeah, right. I gotta see the evidence and know what the evidence is, right?
Correct.
And agree. Okay. Now, if I see X, Y, and Z in the evidence bag, I'm agreeing that X, Y, and Z is in the evidence bag, right?
Well,
Nah,
man.
Answer my question. X, Y, and
No,
Z is in the
I'm
evidence
I'm
bag.
trying to because and
I'm
that's why this
agreeing.
thing is so tricky in regards to
Ain't shit tricky about it.
what is a now listen this
This Alfred plea was made
this is
yesterday.
what's being presented. This is the internet streets are having a wild debate in regard. See, like I'm from the era of in order to be labeled as a quote unquote rat or a snitch, first of all, you had to be a criminal doing criminal activity. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It
Facts.
wasn't no such thing of me being a civilian and you causing a disturbance on my block, and I called the police on you, that guy wasn't technically considered a rat. It might be like, an asshole maybe, you know what I'm saying? But a rat, nah, like, you had to be committing criminal activity, you know what I'm saying? Like, hypothetically, chill out, Fez. Me and Margin, we out here running up plays, and they put me and Margin in separate rooms, and I get to pointing the finger just to go home. Yeah, I get the label. But
Okay.
like if you were an outsider, like like, oh, okay, like I'm outside with the switch, and I'm wilding out, and and I hit a kid, and somebody tell on me, nah, that's a good citizen, you know what I'm saying, helping solve crime and get a lose off the street, because you out here doing things you ain't supposed to be doing no way. You killing kids, like, get them the fuck up out of here. So with this Alfred plea shit, because I don't think a lot of people was even savvy to it.
She was
And
saying
it's
yesterday.
always funny, like I always find more laws, especially like laws that can be circumvented, until I got to Georgia. So the Alfred plea technically allows him free without admitting guilt, but still, what I'm saying? Okay, so
I was at the
what
Diddy
happened?
party.
Right.
Oh
Well, he Diddy got hit with the Man Act. Diddy got hit with the Man Act, so that's something totally, what I'm saying, wild
no,
out.
but
But
I'm saying as a participant at the Diddy party,
oh, no, no, no,
you
I ain't even going there with you. I ain't going there with you. But
see,
like,
hey,
what
that
I'm saying,
okay,
like,
yeah, all right, bet. I see where this is going. Anyway, yeah. So he bear
nah,
witness to
th-
things.
nah, that's not even
I'm
the
talking about
issue was
Gunna.
not the issue with Gunner was the whole thing with YSL. It's a RICO, right? We already established
Mhm.
how RICO works.
Right.
The thing with Gunner was the whole collective. Now they in themselves, they not allowed to talk to each other, all that stuff, right? But they all had the same concept in mind. I don't know if this information getting passed to a lawyer, but they all had the same one concept in mind. Hey, YSL is a record label, okay? We're not a gang, okay? What got Gunna into hot water, part of his plea, Gunna had to say YSL is a gang. But he's saying, hey, that's not me not really telling, because as far as Gunna and his legal team was concerned, the prosecution was already attacking them like a gang. Hence the RICO shit, right?
Mm.
So Gunna's painting it like, hey, I didn't do nothing but tell them shit that they was already talking. They was already coming at us like a gang. But I said YSL is a gang, while Thug and everybody else was like, nah, it's not a gang, it's a record label, it's a fraternity, or whatever little goofy shit they were saying, right? So that's the shit that got everybody looking at Gunna crazy. If he didn't say like, hey, YSL is a gang, and according to Thug, that opened up more doors for the prosecution team to try new tactics, to
Yeah,
try new angles. You see what I'm saying? Like at
yeah.
first they had to, it's just us versus the record label.
They
But
had to
once
stay.
Gunna said it's a gang, now it's like, oh, okay, call the audible. Now we finna get at them like this. And that's what they're saying makes him a snitch. So depending on how you look at it, it's like, I don't know, like, what I'm saying, like, it could be, it couldn't be, but if the prosecutor called you a gang, like, I'm just telling them what they want to hear. How the fuck does that make me a snitch? So
Just
you see
telling
what
them
I'm
what
saying? It's just nasty work, right?
he didn't. Yeah, I mean, if he did, I mean, at that point, did you not know what the ramifications of what you saying is going to happen? You know what I'm saying? If you don't, I comprehend where you at, because you just like, man, they said it already, so what? I just repeated them. Okay, got you, but you didn't comprehend what came afterwards. I see what you're saying. If you did, then yeah. But if we already had a discussion as YSL to say we a record label, then you don't say nothing else. And I can't
Well, see,
remember.
that's part of the confusing part too, because at least from my research, like Thug and Gunna didn't have the same lawyer. You see what I'm saying? Like for example, like if me and you get jammed up, but we got the same lawyer, it's nothing for me to tell the lawyer like, yo, tell Margin say this, right? You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
status quo. But it's a reason, especially like in big cases like this, that they split you up and they make sure you can't get the same legal defense and everything like that because they don't want that communication happening, right?
Uh,
So, you know, maybe Gunner didn't get the message that hey, we doing the whole YSL is not a gang thing.
mm. I mean, maybe he didn't get the message.
So
Whatever.
so could he get some slack if that was the case? Like, hey man, I didn't know. I was just trying to, because according we go back to that video, you know what I'm saying? Gunna, I mean not Gunna, Doug was saying like, oh man, you was just trying to go back home to a girl or whatever. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe before Gunna got popped, he was dating the Beyonce artist, Chloe, the one of those
Oh,
sisters.
okay, got you.
Yeah, I remember them doing red carpet and stuff like that. So I think that's who the girl Doug was referring to. Like, oh man, you just trying to go home and be with old girl, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Woo, woo, woo.
yeah, it
You
was
weren't really
there.
thinking about the squad. You know what I'm saying? So let me ask you that real quick. Like, like as a man, you know what I'm saying? Now, this ain't his wife, you know what I'm saying? But she was well, I don't know. I guess you still can call her a rising star or a R&B star. Like, you
Mhm.
know, is it would you, and not to put you on the spot or nothing, but would you risk your career and possibly a budding relationship with an R&B star, as opposed to sitting in a cell, for something that really you ain't got nothing to do with? Because part of this thing too that makes me scratch my head is the whole reason they ended up in this whole Rico shit was over some murder stuff that took place via the street team, not necessarily the people on the record label. This was some street shit that Gunna ain't got nothing to do with. So technically, he shouldn't be there anyway. But because he's under this banner and we're doing a Rico, everybody got to go. Like they come in and they say, "Hey, we wrapping up Rebel Market. Everybody that's down with the team got to go." And you like, man, I'm in Philly. I ain't got nothing to do with that. I ain't got nothing to do with what he did in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm in Philly. I don't know but they want to bring you in too. Is it okay for you to take an Alpha Police so you can go home to your lady and get back on your business, keep your bank account open? Does that make you look crazy?
Yeah, if that's the sole reason, yes. And I say this because I'm gonna incorporate them. I'm gonna incorporate the past. I'm gonna incorporate the past time, right? If I'm gonna, and I know, and Thug and them, if I'm comprehending me right, they got history, right?
Who?
Gunna and Thug, right?
Yeah, like Gunna's pretty much his protege, as well as Little Baby, right? They supposed to be his proteges.
All right, got you.
So
Even that myth,
they'll be his Myth Bleak to his Jay Z.
got you. So bam, boom. So this been a minute. So you already know what it is.
Yeah, you know your guy. Yeah,
You see what I'm saying? You already know what it is. But me as old thuggin, I know you. And then you do questionable shit for some yams. Because it can't be the first time. You know what I'm saying? That's what you know what
okay.
I'm saying. Like,
I see where you're going.
yeah, because see, after what you said, well, yeah, what you just said, I see. I ain't privy to the pop culture of these Southern Atlantic rappers like such, right? So
No,
after
I'm
you
in.
said that, now we're starting to now. All right, now it's unfolding something. All right, because now you acting the way that you're not supposed to act. Now, would Margarine do that? No, because of that. Yeah, I mean, now if I was the
Mm.
new boy, I've been around a couple of years talking about, yeah, and I don't really know you like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. Yeah, niggas be all right, man. Yeah, man, you know what it is, gang, and be out. That's what we rap about. What we talking about? I'm confused. Are we bang bang shoot 'em up bars or are we not? Oh, we not? Oh, snap. Damn. My bad. See what I'm saying?
No, I'm with
That's
you.
the
Like, but you know what? Part of like, cause not as big as a name as them two per se, but you know,
uh,
the beef which got them in there was pretty much a shootout that had involvement with the rapper YFN Lucci, and at that time, if I'm not mistaken, YFN Lucci he was dating Lil Wayne's daughter. So, he was up and coming. He was pretty much next to Blow in Atlanta, right? And
right,
like it turned into it turned into the YFN clique versus the YSL clique, right? And it
right.
ended
Okay.
up in this crazy shootout and everything. And that's what gave, you know, Fannie Willis and them, Fannie the same one that did Trump, that did the Trump case down here. So that's what gave Fannie Willis and her team the green light to go ahead and start the RICO because they got, somebody died and this was high profile. These are like names and this rappers, like this is a prosecutor's wet dream, respectfully. Like, it don't get no bigger than this. Like, oh, like all the clout for me now. So, you know, oh man, it just got tricky, man. Like, I'm gonna leave that right there because I feel like, that's gonna be something that we're gonna have to continue to pay attention to because I don't see a lot of people talking about this Alfred plea. I just see a lot of people just, keeping it simple, like, oh man, your boy Gunna a snitch. But according to this, he technically didn't do nothing. So, that's when, I feel like, our community, more importantly, needs to start doing their due diligence into the law of the land.
I
You see what I'm
fully agree.
saying?
I fully agree. Because then we will see a lot of things exposed as they comprehend that. Because you're right. Like we just mentioned earlier, we're watching a duality play out right in front of us, and it's deliberate, and it's like right there. You know what I'm saying? It's
Nah,
deliberate and it's right in front of us. But if the comprehension of the law will clear it up, like you just said, because nobody's talking about this. But Alfred, you talking about Batman, homie? You know what I'm saying? He got
right,
lost.
right.
Like that's
That's
how.
crazy, right?
That's you know what I'm saying. That's how people not. They're not talking about that. So I can't even. You hit it on the head with that one. They just not. They just not. That shit. It sounds foreign. I ain't even gonna lie to you. If that's the
Yeah,
case, niggas can say that about anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I saw something. You know what I mean? But it
right,
wasn't like all day. Alfred, homie, Alfred. That's my man. Man,
right. Man,
got
is in
14
there.
kids.
Yeah.
Alfred. Like,
Let's move
hey,
on to a name that I've seen popping in the this is like a two-part question. Like the boy Future name popped up in one of these calls, right? So like in a newly leaked call, Young Thug he criticized Future priorities, and like the quote, they keep spreading around is like, yo, Pluto, aka Future, is like, yo, you pushing, he pretty much was saying like, yo, he a different person when the women around, which sounds like some future shit, right? But he was pretty much going in on like, yo, like you spending more time with the bitches than you spending with your kids. And say like, yo, you need to be more locked in, in regards to fatherhood. Stop sidelining fatherhood for women, and pretty much go find someone, go find a wifey, and settle down and be with your kids, right? And I found this funny because today I seen a head. No, I think it was yesterday. I seen a headline that Sierra is like what one of Future's like 13 baby mamas, ironically. You know,
Yeah.
um, the irony in telling somebody with mad kids, yo, go find a woman and settle down. That's crazy. But I seen Sierra name pop up in the headlines because I believe her and Russell Wilson or the family, they was at the US Open tennis John, right?
Uh-huh.
And they put the kid's name on the screen and they blew the kid name up as whatever his first name is, Wilson, uh, and whatever future lad. And pretty much, Sierra has changed the boy last name to include Russell Wilson's name in it. And the internet went crazy, like, yo, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? Of course, the women is like, oh, well, he ain't present. Ooh, ooh, like, fuck him. Like, then the man is like, nah, fuck that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, he knows me. He knows I'm his dad. You can't just be changing names around this motherfucker without permission. But according to, like, some research I did, Sierra supposedly has 100% child custody, which gives her the right to do whatever the fuck she want at the same time too. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Without making this a touchy subject or whatever the case may be, what you think about that? Like, if your kid is under the guidance of a quote unquote stepfather, but you're not dead and you're not necessarily a deadbeat. He just happens to spend more time with mom than he does dad. Can we respect, you know, mom doing a name change without permission on top of that?
I mean, morally, ethically, nah. But like, yo, like, nah, you tripping on that one. But legalese, by all means, do your thing. That's just how it goes. Because at the end of the day, you are like, as much as the women are upset, or as much as women are I mean, in agreement with it, right? The concept of custody is what they're referring to. You cannot take somebody away from being a biological person, father or mother, right?
Right.
So
That
therefore,
DNA is forever.
exactly. So he's painting in the tree that he's painting in regardless. He or the child is. It's painting in that tree regardless. So you're I'm sorry to say, your ignorance of reality at that point is like, yeah, no, he should, because the other balls in this life, okay, whatever. You can hyphen it up because the nigga he's in there too. That's cool. But in reality, blood is blood. And that's where the man is kind of is saying without saying it. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, that's
Yeah.
fucked up because he got one last name. That's not because let's go by divine law, the seed bearer name is what moves down. So y'all want to argue that?
Mhm.
You got to argue that with the man that whoever you deem is your God. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah,
See
that's
what
some
I
truth
mean?
in that. Yeah,
So
and I kind of feel you too, man, because I had to go and cook a couple of women because like they don't see the disrespect, and unfortunately, I don't know what it is. I feel like it's a lot of trauma in our community, man. Like like maybe this could be another episode down the road, but it is a lot of trauma with black women and black men, and particularly like when I'm thinking about the black woman, they have a lot of daddy issues, man. Respectfully, ladies, I don't need you, what I'm saying, sending me no hate mail. Listen, I understand, what I'm saying, like a lot of men walked away, a lot of men were probably pushed away, but or a lot of men probably got bargained out for the government, but like that's neither here or
yeah,
there. But a
real
lot of
correct
women
part.
are really angry, bro. Like you can just hear it. Even if they type in it, you can just feel the anger. Like, wow, who hurt you, sis? Like, you know what I'm saying? I had this one young lady, she jumped in my well no, she didn't jump in my comment, but we was watching a video. I believe it was Joe Button giving his opinion on this, right? And like she made a comment pretty much trying to say, hey, it's no difference between what Sierra did versus what Steve Harvey did with Lori Harvey, right? Like Lori Harvey ain't necessarily her dad, but she has the Harvey name, right? And like I couldn't let that fly. 'Cause I had to jump in, and I'm like, first and foremost, that's not the same thing because as far as boys carry on the lineage of the name. Women get married, hopefully, and they assume the last name of their husband, right?
Mhm.
So the way I for the way I talk to my son and educate my son is totally different from how I talk to my daughter. Like I make sure my son knows that, hey, your job is to carry on tradition. The way I talk to my daughter is to be like, yo, make sure, what I'm saying, like you're the best version of yourself for the man that you want to be the best version of themselves so y'all can go on together and do great names with whatever your family lineage is going to be according to the male, right? You know,
Mhm.
that's just the way it is. And and I had to explain to her like, hey, despite what, and like she instantly like went into default mode of, oh well, if you fucking men like learn how to maintain responsibility and stop walking out on your families, and I'm like, yo, shorty, like what the fuck, like I'm like, listen,
Ain't nobody
I
walk
don't
out
know,
on you. Why are you talking like that? What? Get the
man, listen, man, the, the aggression via a tight conversation was crazy. I'm like, yo, I'm
yo,
like, despite what you think, it's majority more good fathers out here than bad. Like, I'm tired of like,
yo.
this fucking community taking the maybe 10% of bad fathers or what I'm saying, like absent fathers and painting the other 90% of active fathers with that brush. It's like, what the fuck is wrong? Like everybody fucking daddy walked out on them? Everybody? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't believe it. Like, y'all got to cut the cap, man. And they just be
Yeah,
like,
got to.
like,
Got
yo,
to.
bro, the clause came out, and I was so confused. Like, how is this a hard fucking thing to understand what I'm saying? Like, they attacking your boy at this point, right? Now, I had to
Which,
hit them with the cherry on top. Like, yo, well, listen, if y'all, granted, y'all fucking hate man, and you know what I'm saying, or y'all don't respect man and walk on these fams and shit like that. But here was my ultimate question, right? If all these niggas ain't shit, right? Let's go with their logic. If all these niggas ain't shit, they deadbeats, they don't give a fuck, they don't do nothing, blah 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 blah. Why you pick the nigga?
you won't like that when I met him.
And then even worse, you opened your leg to that nigga and gave birth to his seed.
Yeah, by that time you had plenty of time to know whether yeah you me, yeah or no.
So
Yeah,
So yeah, so I'm kind of confused. Who's worse in this scenario? The dude that walked away, or the lady that gave access to give dude permission to walk away? It's a conundrum.
it
And
is. It's
yeah, go ahead, bro.
the psyop is strong, man. The
It's
psyop is
strong, bro.
strong, man. Because listen, man,
That's the
because
right
we even if
word.
you talk, yeah, because the psyop is strong. Because yo, y'all, these the same ones that's listening to ratchet music created by wives.
Wait, say that again.
These are the same ones that listen to ratchet music that's
Yeah.
created by wives. The
Damn.
art,
Damn.
see what I'm saying? So
Damn.
what
Beyonce,
difference?
so you
Like,
telling hold on, you telling me Beyonce told them to go out there and be single ladies while she go home to her husband?
you heard?
Damn.
To the left in them.
Damn.
I thought y'all was
Damn.
what happened in the elevator. There was no left. You just you know what I'm saying. We left that hotel and went to another one. That's what happened. But other than that, you
She went
got
to the
it.
left wing of her mansion on these hoes.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying. Like up and down, a lot of the influence that they're getting is not only from the music, but the ones that are there that's in front of them. They were maybe they aunt, they friends. You know what I'm saying? Whoever in front of them in lineage, they picking it up from there. And I'm sorry to say, it's a certain generation that has it. There's a certain generation that has a combination of both, and those are the ones that are still wives. Let's keep it 100 because they know how to submit and how to be that raw. And then they say certain niggas is toxic because certain niggas like that back and forth shit. But that's not toxic. That's just how y'all are built. But now
Right.
we got the generation of the woman that's too much of the raw and don't know how to fall back. You're trying to force your way to get something that you can already get if you just soften up. See what I mean? So it's still influence, but you talking all that. The way that y'all talking, like you said, not all of y'all have went through that. The person
Nah,
that was
man,
saying
it's
to
some
you didn't
sisterhood and
even go.
yaya shit.
That's what I'm saying. So the influence is not also from the individual in front of them. That's where the music, the hip hop and the music period comes in that too, because they feed it into that stereotype or persona.
But here's my thing too. Let's say you are part of like, the select fews that went through that process. Daddy wasn't around for whatever reasons, right? And you want to do something about that. You don't like that, and you want to, be changed. On some Gandhi shit, shouldn't you be the change that you wish to see out here? Like, what's stopping you from breaking that curse or doing better per se? Because a lot of the shit I hear, it's like, well, damn, I hear you, sis, and you loud and direct. I hear you, but you doing the same shit. You don't push your child's father away.
And
So
he
now
was a
you
good dude.
he was a good dude. You know what I'm saying? You was just tired of your bullshit or whatever the case may be, or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Like, it, different strokes for different folks all around, right? But
Mhm.
we talking about young black men. See, the same way they want to go out and like, castrate the YNs or, clown them for being feminized or whatever the case may be. But then if I come through and I, spray the Uzi and say some shit like, well, who's raising them? Nobody wants to talk.
Mhm.
It get mad quiet around this bitch.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? You saying certain individual ain't around. And you asking certain individual for bread because you got to take care of little certain individual. But then you got questions about little certain individual activities that you supposed to be monitoring. Yeah, it's get a little quiet in this joint.
Yeah, quiet around here, man. Like, listen, man, it's an everyday struggle. It's an everyday struggle, but I take the ultimate pride in being able to have 100% custody of my son. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's gonna get to a point where he gonna be his own man, and he gonna have to choose his lady, and he gonna produce his seed, and hopefully, I gave him enough of a example and good game to hopefully he
Boy,
will
damn.
keep. I had my father in my life. He had his father in his life. Hopefully, he can keep the tradition going. But for let's say the chain get broken, let's say okay, let's say Future's not around. Like that's cool. Like Russell doing this thing. Like part of I'm gonna be honest. Part of me looking at Russell like a sucker, but that's neither here nor there, right? But like the point should be trying to influence that young man to spend more time with his father when he becomes of age. Because I still think the kid is like under the age of 10 or something. So right now he really don't know what's going on. He's
Yeah.
just like, being a kid. He don't give a fuck about none of this goofy shit. He don't know what's going on. But when he turned like 16, 15, 17, and you know what I'm saying, he gotta read these headlines and yo, I know my dad, and when the boys get into that rebellious stage, right?
Yeah.
You ain't gonna be able to convince me that he ain't gonna want to spend more time with Future more than he gonna want to spend time with Russell, right?
Exactly.
But you out here doing sucker shit today as a mom, like like spitefully changing the boy's last name, this that, and the third. That's why I'm looking at Russell kind of crazy. It's like, yo, you co-signed that? You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, man, like I don't know, man. Ain't nobody just gonna be, you know, putting their fucking feet on my doormat. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. Like, I think I want to do a future episode on that. Maybe I might have to get a panel with some
Yeah,
women to debate us,
yeah, that'll
so
be
we
fire.
can smoke. You know what I'm saying? But I found that funny, man. But Future came up in the headlines. But you know what? Just to wrap this section up, because I want to try and wrap this up in the next 10 minutes so we can, get back to things. We got sports coming up next, people. Don't know necessarily which one we gonna pick or what we gonna do, but we got a sports episode coming up. But to wrap this particular section up, um, yo, Young Thug, Crazy Bull, man, like mentions of Gunna, Future, GloRilla, Gucci Man, Migos, P, you know what I'm saying? The owner of QC record labels, Lil Baby, 21 Savage, Kendrick Lamar, Drake, Trippie Redd, Andre 3000. All these names was mentioned so far out of the collection of these leaked calls from Young
That's
Thug.
crazy.
So if you want to get a synopsis on each and every particular player, make sure you visit Verbal Marketing website, hit that verbalism tab, check out the article over there. But let's move forward, man. Let's talk
That nigga's
about
called strays, bro. That nigga's called
man,
strays. Like, so, like, yo, I ain't even affiliated with the homie. You see about what I do?
man. And you know what, man? Because that interview I watched with Thug yesterday, that shit was down there about 3 hours long. I couldn't, like, only because I was researching and working. I was able to get through the majority of it. But like he asked him point blank. Like, shout out to the interviewer, but he asked him point blank, like, the fuck was on your mind? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's up with you, bro? Like, you looking like, you looking funny in these streets. You looking like a snake down there, right? Fuck the rat shit. You want some snake shit. And to Thug's explanation was like, man, I was hurt pretty much. Like, what do you think about that? Like, can we give him some leeway for feeling trapped alone in the system? You go from eating steak and lobster to bologna sandwiches overnight. I'll kind of be upset too. So, are we giving him a little bit of leeway for voicing frustrations about all these people because of the premise I'm mad, or should he held it down a little? He should have been a little bit more thorough than that.
Okay, homie sound mad emotional. And then he was mad emotional. And these are a lot of people you name. It's very specific type of emotion you're displaying here, right? Um, yeah, it's not that you get a pass. This is the fact that, yo, you said names. Just however, that's the part where it's like, nah. Because
And you saying names is
nah.
going in. Like, when you tell a nigga to be a better dad, it's like, yo, what we talking about at this moment? Like, this
What
ain't we
you
ain't talking
talking
about
about?
music. Because
Yeah.
at least some people he was mad, like, yo, you won't jump on my album. Then he just had people he just like going in on personally, like, yo, yeah, I think he called Future retarded. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
that's what I mean.
that
Like,
that
yo,
that
but
that's
man,
personal.
that's what I'm.
But
Hold on, am I shit? No, I'm good. That's what I mean. Like it wasn't even. Yeah, it about music no more. So you really was okay. You was expressing yourself, but you knew what the line you was expressing yourself on. I don't want to hear that. So no, you don't get no pass, man. The joy that you say you're on a recorded line when you get called.
right.
No,
See
you
that
get no
part right
pass.
there. That part right there is when I had to stop and go figure out them FOIA laws because I was confused. Like, everybody know that tone, like you just said, like, yo, the call is being recorded, blah, 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 blah. We all get that robo message, right? But, in Illinois, you can't just call and request no shit and they turn it over like that. Like, I had to really figure out, like, that's a state by state thing. And if you don't know no better, you can't do no better. So a part of me want to give Thug a little bit, you know what I'm saying, an opportunity to climb up out of this situation and turn it into a marketing scheme almost for his new album because it's like, man, if you didn't know, but that was the thing too. these recordings was from 2 years ago, and according to a lot of people, you know, these was leaked 2 years ago, and he said once he found out about the recordings, he got in touch with his legal team, got in touch with the Cobb County Correctional Office, and they put a stop to it. Right, so he's saying he feels like it's intentional today because this stuff was already out 2 years ago, but he feels like somebody just been sitting on it and waiting for
Yeah,
this exact moment to release it all at once to make him look crazy. So he's
yeah,
surprised because he's like, "This ain't new. What y'all tripping on?" But you know how the internet be like, "Hey, it's new to us. We finna like a dog with a bone. We finna run with this."
yeah, man. Yeah. No, and you know what? I can see that too and shit. And you know what? If that's the case, then like it just it goes to just shows us the theater that we are watching. If this is intel that's already been out before, then we just running it back, and niggas now folks is just hearing about it. It says a lot on the influence of things going on down there. Niggas don't hear about it like they used to. You know what I'm saying?
Ah, yeah, that's a fact, man. That's a fact, man. All right, well let's speak on the the industry, right? Like public and industry reactions. All right. So reactions are split from what I can tell, right? Some of Thug, some accuse Thug of hypocrisy for naming Gunna a snitch while speaking in his own interrogation. And you know, it was a quote that goes, "So he ain't mad at Gunna no more. He can't be mad after this." And you know, Thug pretty much created, yo, this got to be the wildest hashtag I ever seen in my life, right? So, you know, the fans was pretty much saying, listen, you got to chill. You can't be out here calling Gunna a rat and you doing rat like activities, right? So, in Thug's quote unquote defense, he goes on to say, listen, man, I ain't say nothing that got anybody incriminated. And if anything, his thing in regards to the Pee Wee Roscoe guy, the one that was accused of shooting up Lil Wayne's bus, he's saying, "Yo, I was talking with them to throw the scent off of his
Yeah.
man's." So he's like, "That ain't snitching. That's me trying to help my man's."
Okay,
And you
okay.
know, to cap that, you know, he ended it with a hashtag ratware. I never seen
Right.
a I never seen a hashtag so egregious. You know what I'm saying? Rat hashtag rat where. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying. Like the whole conversation is just so diabolical at this point. And you know, like you got a lot of artists and media personalities, including the Pee Wee Roscoe dude. You know, he even came out and said, "Yo, listen, like I'm rocking with Thug. Thug was trying to clear my name. I didn't shoot up Lil Wayne bus, and we don't know, but you know that's how they pitching it. Like, nah, like you know, I ain't gonna say he snitched on me. That's my man's. He was looking out for me. He was trying to get me to go home. So, you know, shout out to Young Thug. I'm like, okay, okay. But then there was another artist down here, another Atlanta artist. He go by the name of Rollo. Like, you know, he started getting a lot of publicity after you know this shit started kicking off because with Rollo's situation, I think Rollo used to be signed to Young Thug or something like that. They had a musical relationship, right? And then you know a situation came out where you know Rollo got jammed up in the court situation, and I guess it didn't turn out good in his favor. And Thug put the snitch label on Rollo. And then Rollo came out during all this bullshit, and now he's, you know, returning the favor and putting the snitch shit on Thug. But you know, credit to the young man. You know, over the past couple of days, he got real, you know, wise and saying, "Yo, I'm gonna just let it go. I ain't gotta be like you. I don't wish no harm on you, no karma. Well, you like, listen, you just want to deal with your own karma with the fans. I ain't gonna throw no dirt on your name the way you threw dirt on my name. So I found that kind of stand upish. But you got the people like the record label owner Q he go by the name P, which managed to label QC that is responsible for the Migos and Little Baby and City Girls, right? He's the label that managed them, right? Now they got into it, and my man P said he ready to go as far as on some 50 Cent shit and putting out a documentary on it. Like, like the I think like the rat that keep on giving us some shit, right? He trying to make a documentary on it, right? That shit crazy. Then you got people like Drake and your boy Meek Millie. You know what I'm saying? Like when the phone call first came out in 2023 or whatever, they was going at the county offices and the jails down here, like, yo, like, what I'm saying, we ain't rocking with how y'all, releasing these tapes and stuff. Y'all need to shut that shit down. Then you got people like Joe Budden, who is like kind of like the man when it comes to hip hop media these days. You got Joe Budden saying like, yo, I don't know, man, like I don't think Thug done for, but his stock is plummeted as far as he's concerned. Yeah, you definitely got that red, that scarlet letter on you, right? And then you got a lot of people at the end of the day that's just like, hey, yo, we don't give a fuck. We just want the music. So let me ask you that, like, what I'm saying? I ain't the biggest Thug fan. I like Gunna more, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like, but what you think, man? Just in regards to industry perspective, like, do you think, because he got an album coming up, let's say this next album come out, right, and it's just fire flames, like, you got to put some shit in the playlist, right? Like, do we really give a fuck about any of this shit a couple weeks from now if the music is fire?
Nah.
Like, are we in that era really now?
I mean, we technically supposed to be in that cancel culture era, you know what I mean? But
I never
be honest, a lot of us don't care about it. Yeah, like I really don't care. Like, yo, look, we miss Robert, yo. Kel's still in the playlist, baby. You know what I mean? He's still in the playlist. I don't know what niggas talking about.
Listen, I don't give a fuck who
Kanye from Chicago. Yeah.
That's what I'm about to say. Like, they didn't cancel Ye, you know what I'm saying? And you see who came after Ye. If the big dogs, you know what I'm saying, couldn't get Ye out of here, like, hey, listen, y'all ain't canceling shit. But I'm being dead ass. Like, I haven't yet to see one person get canceled. Who's been canceled?
Right, they be right back in your mix with the cancel sign, and then the cancel sign not there no more. Y'all just embracing the next drum. You know what I'm saying? So,
and like, listen, to a degree, if Diddy was to come home, and do some fire shit, like, what you think? Because I don't know, Diddy kind of on the high school. Chill,
I'm gonna bring my own beverage, my own party favor. I don't share it. Cool. I heard how you get down. I'm trying to bear witness to the party. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get up there. Hey, listen, bro.
That's crazy.
I'm a resident of the A now. My man Arthur, yeah, he gonna give me an Alfred. My bad, Alfred. He gonna get me up out of this. So we good. What's going on back here? You know what I'm saying?
You bringing your own baby oil, or you know what I'm saying? You gonna take one at the door? Which one you doing?
No, I'm bringing my own, baby. Bringing my own. Baby going too slick for a nigga like me. I'm cool. And he's trying to slide for all busted tail. Nah.
Oh, damn. Oh, you an Astroglide nigga? Yeah. Get him the fuck out of here.
Wildin'. Wildin'. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Hot to it in this joint. Listen, it's whatever. Like, niggas, everybody that's in this joint, bear witness to the party and shit. That's it. You heard about it? You heard about it?
Nah. Yeah, that's real, man. Like, I never seen anybody get canceled. So I guess from me and margin to, you internet soldiers. I get we don't believe you. You need more people.
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna run their
Like,
views up just by hating on it. You nuts.
all right. Well, let's speak about, the impact on YSL as a label and Thug's career. So, the case itself, right? The 2024 guilty plea ended the YSL RICO trial. No jury to sway. The leaks might affect his reputation more than the legal outcome, which is crazy, right? So, yeah, like Fanny and her team lost, but you know, depending on who we find out is ultimately the source of all these leaks lately, they might come out being the winner at the end of the day. Even though they didn't get them in the court of law, they definitely kicking ass in the court of public opinion. So his legacy is definitely being complicated. But I guess the verdict, pun intended, is still out in regards to like, will the fans stay loyal or will they bend under pressure? He got the album coming out October 17th, 2025, and the name of it is supposed to be UI Scooty. Listen, don't ask me how, don't ask me why. Like, that's your man's. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty sure like he'll break that down somehow, some way. But he been out here teasing new music because that's kind of a tactic that he's currently using to get the streets off his ass. Like, oh, let me leak a little bit of music. You know what I'm saying? While y'all out here talking about these phone calls, let me drop a couple bars. You know
Listen
what
to
I'm
this.
saying? Like, yeah, let's get this shit put back in perspective, right? So the answer is supposed to be billed to answer to allegations, and you're supposed to get. Listen to this. Ironically enough, some of the features on the album that's been confirmed include Little Baby, Future, and his little wifey, Mariah the Scientist, which have also been names in these leaks, right? So that's crazy. Like, imagine Future, being like, called out personally, and then you finna help this man blow up in his album in a couple of weeks. I don't know. You think it's too late to, like, get that verse removed, or it is what it is.
It is what it is. I
Um,
said, if a John get a check, if that John get a check, nigga, it's already done. You know what I mean?
you know what? Like, money make them frowns turn upside down real quick. I ain't even gonna hold you. So success could
Nah, that's
reset
not
the
the
narrative.
check. I don't think
Right.
so, B. I don't think so.
You know,
That's
thanks.
success.
All right.
I don't think it's going.
Well, I'm gonna say stay tuned, man.
It's
When
gonna
when
be
that
what
album
it is.
come
The
out,
star is
yeah,
still. I mean, he never was in my playlist like that. But I heard what I heard and bopped my head when I heard it. Like, oh yeah, that's that one. You know what I'm saying? So
hmm
that's about it, bro. Yeah, so, go back to being Jeffrey. You be all right. You good.
that's a
Be you,
fact.
Playboy. Be you.
Well, y'all
Be
stay
you. I
tuned because
mean,
the success could reset the narrative, but the failure will definitely cement the damage. And as far as like the Atlanta alliances, um, the leaks might have widened the cracks, man. You got all these new beefs, man. You got YSL versus QC. Gucci Mane got thrown in the mix. He might Guwap might pop out with some bars for Thug, and Gun out here doing tours. 21 Savage, you know what I'm saying? He was trying to be neutral about it, but like, I don't know. Let's see if he get thrown under the bus eventually. But as far as all that camaraderie shit that we was talking about, that Atlanta had a good stronghold on for the last 2 decades, that's over with. So, hey man, it is what it is. And to wrap it up, man, we're gonna speak on the historical and cultural context, some case studies, because I was trying to
yeah,
figure
man.
out like man, who's really the worst of the worst? Because wasn't too long ago we had the boy. Hey man, it is what it is, man. Not too long ago we had the boy 6ix9ine. Remember 6ix9ine, man? 6ix9ine actually got on the stand And he pointed fingers. He even threw Cardi B under the bus. That shit was Jim Jones under the bus. He was throwing out celebrities too. And oddly enough, well, you know what? I should say boldly enough. When 6ix9ine got out, he embraced that rat shit. You know what I'm saying? He made it into a brand. You know what I'm saying? And he still got fans to this day.
Straight up.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, when y'all be talking all this cancel culture shit, where? And then, also staying in New York.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, you got Bobby Smurder and Roddy Rebel. Like we watched that go down. Their case was a little different though. Neither one of them didn't rat. They actually did the opposite. They both stayed solid. And
yeah,
Bobby ended up taking a longer sentence so Roddy can get a shorter sentence, and they both ended up coming home around the same time. Now, needless to say though, like they coming home like maybe a decade later, it wasn't nobody checking for no Bobby. Wasn't nobody checking for no Bobby Smurder music. Respectfully.
nah, we was walking home, Bobby, then we got back to doing what they was doing, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, it kind of is what it is on that one, right? And
You
then
know what I mean?
and then you got your boy, you know what I'm saying? You mentioned him at the top of the episode, man. You got T.I., man. T.I. had a long shadow of cooperation rumors that showed technical compliance, you know what I'm saying, which could have stained his reputation. So he was doing shit like, Crime Stopper commercials and shit like that. And I remember the day he got knocked with all them goddamn rifles at the BET Award. Now I don't even know
Oh
how he got
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Even 50 Cent hit him with the bar where don't, if you talking to him, don't talk to me. You know what I'm
You know what I
saying?
mean?
Like, I got the best lawyers money could buy. The lawyer said he could have got me 10, maybe 9. I said, how do you explain how a homie breathe? So you keep your mouth shut or you eat the cheese. I said, 50 doing too much, man. I
Yeah,
remember
you
that.
heard what he said, man.
Yeah, but to his credit, man, T.I. came home multiple times, got right back to the music, and to this day, I still listen to T.I. music.
Yeah,
I do.
partner. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? Now I don't know too much about his kids, man. Like them boys kind of wild. Like, but
They need to they need to get
um
their
the
own case. They need to get their own guns. Think of what you talk about.
yeah the homie Damani though, he do his producer thing. He fired, but like King, the little crazy one, like Tiny man, he a cannon man. I think he gonna be a late bloomer as far as the music goes. But now I rock with Ti man, and you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna say this much. Because Ti did do paperwork parties and everything. He showed all this shit, and it wasn't no dirt on his stuff. So, hey man, like I'm gonna say, if there is ever a blueprint for how an Atlanta artist is supposed to move, y'all might want to go ahead and
There you
holler at
go.
Ti, man. Pay that retainer fee. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. Yep.
But
Or
yeah,
you got joint fraternity, one of the two. How you want to get down?
how you want to get down? But yeah, man. So that's pretty much all of it, man. To wrap it up, these cases show that authenticity is still currency. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, streams is popping. You know what I'm saying? Like IG followers, that's what's up. But at the end of the day, man, your credibility, your balls in your words, you know what I'm saying? Like that's where it's at. So, uh, the labels and the streaming platforms, they often prioritize profit over principle. But the fans, increasingly they starting to separate the music quality from street credibility, which,
Mm,
might be even more part of the reason why ain't no such thing as cancel culture. So from
right.
insults to apologies, from loyalty oaths to accusations, Young Thug's his private words have become public trial, and the fallout asks hip hop to define what loyalty, survival, and truth mean in the year 2025. Now, as Thug readies his album, the UI Scooty, you know, the question is less, did he snitch? And more, can the music heal a fractured community? Or will the leaks define his legacy forever. Y'all leave it down in the comments section. Let us know how you feel. If you hung with us for the whole 2 hours, shout out to you. We appreciate you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, that like button. Share this with your friends, with your grandma, with your uncles, with your little nephew. Because hey, this is the debate, and I want to know. Marjorie want to know as well how y'all feel about it. Shout out to the homegirl Wendy with the Coded by Win Agency for giving us that hip hop history lesson. I'm pretty sure we'll be catching up with her down the road as well. And
Yeah.
yo, Margin, man, before we get up out of here, man, like give us your final thoughts, man, on this young thug fiasco going on, what you want the people to look forward to in regards to future episodes. I know we're gonna be talking some sports, we're gonna be talking a little bit of battle rap. We got the Crawford Canelo fight coming up, man. So go ahead and wrap it up with your thoughts, man. Look what you got.
All right, bet. Yeah, I mean, as for thugging, as old thugging goes, yeah, man. Remember how he used to drop the albums, Ti versus Tip,
Oh
um,
yeah.
such and such verse. Remember that era?
Nah, yeah,
Guess we
I
started.
know exactly where you're going. Yeah.
Yeah, out with the old, in with the new, but ain't no new here. So the new, we out with Young Thug and versus Jeffrey. You know what I'm saying? This is this is where we at.
Okay. That's kind of
Because
fire. I ain't gonna hold you.
you know what I mean, this duality is what we've been playing with this whole time. So that's why I want people to keep an eye out on that because with that being said, you see how both goes down and how transparent it is right now. It's vivid. Before it used to be artistry to it. It was clever with it. Now it's kind
Yeah.
of like directing your face. People still don't believe it, but it's like, dang, how much do they got to tell us for us to catch on? I guess they got to say it in another way. So I guess in due time we'll see what's good. But that's it about Thugger. Other than that, man, we definitely in the what is it? It's we almost this by far when it comes down to sports the most the best time of the year because you got the NFL just starting, you got the MLB coming around about to start their postseason here shortly. You got what else you got? It's October baseball, and we shortly around the corner. You know, winter's coming right after that, so that you already know they're gearing up for like hoop season or whatnot. And NHL is in the building, and of course we know that the worldwide football is still popping as well. So
Oh
we're
yeah.
gonna get mad,
I gotta
mad.
check my best. You said that.
See what I'm saying? Gonna
I
get
ain't
mad
nothing.
sports chronicles, mad sports chronicles in the building because it's all going down. You know what I'm saying? So it's enticing. I guess we just getting amped up, and y'all get amped up with us as we take this journey. You know what I mean? As Verbal Underground comes through your neighborhood. You know what I'm saying?
Super facts. Super facts. Yeah, man. Listen, man. I can't. Once again, thank everybody enough. Like we getting back in tune, as y'all see, man. Back to back bangers. You know what I'm saying? Like from us to you guys, man. Be on the lookout. Make sure you visit the website www.verbal-marketing.com. We got all of the services that you need. This week we will be walking everybody through the podcast marketing. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
we're gonna be offering all services. So anybody that's out there interested in getting a podcast off the ground, whether it's your setup, your YouTube channels, advertising, production, all of the above. If you like what's going on over here on the Verbal Underground, go ahead and holler at us. We'll come over there and get you tuned up for a very reasonable price as well. So, you know what I'm saying? Visit the website. Make sure you visit us on all your social media platforms. Just type in Verbal Marketing. You can find the content there. Type in Margarine to find him on the social media platforms. Type in Verbalist to find the Verbalist on the social media platforms. And it is what it is. Until next episode, people, we out.
Peace and love.